hindi naniniwala na may mga blankong halaga sa budget. Gaya ng reaksyon ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos.
Tanong nga lang ninyo sa ibang senador kung anong kapabalagan kung meron na.
Sino ba nag-approve din at the end of the day? Siya pa din, di ba?
Correct.
So sabihin naman niya, hindi yan ang kasi ang ginawa ng Kongreso. Bakit? Mamamatay ba ang bayan?
Naku,
Hihinto ba ang buhay natin kung ibabalik mo sa Kongreso yan at ayusin nila? Hindi kasi magkakaroon tayo ng reenacted budget ng isang buwan?
yun naman ho pala mga kababayan, pwede naman ho palang ibalik sa Kongreso ayon dito kay Manong Ted Pailon. Kaso ho mga kababayan, pinagpilitan, pirmahan nitong si Marcos Jr. yang palsipikadong budget na yan. Ngayong nasilipan ho sila ng butas at talaga namang napakalaking iskandalo ho nung isiniwalat nitong si Congressman Isidro Ungab at nitong si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte at nitong si Atty. Vic Rodriguez. Ngayon ho, iniiba ho nila ang usapan. Binabaliktad ho nila, gusto ho nilang palabas na fake news yung mga isiniwalat na yan itong si Congressman Isidro Ungab. Pero bago ho yan mga kababayan, alam nyo na ho gagawin sa mga gustong sumali sa ating community. Yung join button nandyan lang sa baba. At sa mga baguhan lang ho sa PH Update, isang like at isang subscribe. Naku, masaya na ho tayo dyan. No? Pagka-play pa lang ng video, auto-like na ho yan. Auto-subscribe ika nga. Bago tayo dumako dyan sa mga paksa natin na yan, pasadaan ho muna natin ng mabilisan. Yung mga naglalabasan na survey firm kuno na kung saan maiintriga ho kayo kung bakit yung mga napapasama sa kanilang mga senatorial survey, yun lamang hong mapipera. Kagaya na lamang ho mga kababayan, nako, January 11 lang nag-umpisa yung field data trends na yan. Tapos ngayon, credible na kayo. Nag-umpisa lang ho sila January 11, 2025. Mga walang ya kayo. Tingnan nyo naman ho ito mga kababayan. Napasama lang ho dito, maliban dito kay Senator Bato at Senator Christopher Bongo, mga mayayamang politiko yan. Huwag ho kayong magpaloko pagka nakita nyo ho yung field data trends na yan, hindi ho katiwa-tiwala yung mga ilinalabas na mga figure niyan. Tingnan nyo naman ho yan mga kababayan. Inuuna ho niya, inaatake ho niya yung mga mainit sa social media, yung mga local candidates na talagang pinag-uusapan sa social media. Kagaya nitong si Trililing at nitong si Malapitan, yaang si Binay at yaang si Campos, at kagaya ho nitong si Delipe at itong si Olaso. Ayan ho mga kababayan, yung sinisurvey ho nila, yung pinapalabas nila sa social media, yung mga maiinit sa social media at matindi ho ito mga kababayan. Nakakapag-survey ho sila sa iba't ibang munisipalidad. Gayong 105,000 like lang ho ang kanilang page na to. At tayo ho na-intriga kung sino ho kayang may-ari nitong data pill na to. Kayo dyan sa data pill, ayusin nyo Gumawa na rin kayo ng kabalbalan, ayusin nyo na. Heto ho mga kababayan, nung ginawa ho ang page na yan, dyan kasi tingnan nyo, ganito lang ho yan mga kababayan. Punta ho kayo, di ba dito yung post? Punta ho kayo sa Abouts. Punta ho kayo dito sa page transparency at see all. Pag sini-all nyo ho yan, makikita nyo ho pagka pinalitan ng pangalan ng page. Ito ho siya, created Merydale May Entrala. Sino itong si May Entrala na to? Ayan ho ang pangalan niya. Ginawa ho siya noong August 5, 2016. Hindi ho siya field data trends para doon sa mga politiko. Nako, wag ho kayong magbibigay dyan. Merong mga gustong kumita dito sa page na to. Wag ho kayong makikipag-ugnayan dyan. Ang daling butasan ng mga survey na ilalabas nila. Ito, pinalitan ho niya ang kanyang pangalan noong August 11, 2016. Malamang, nagparami ho siya ng, ng followers at like. Tapos ngayong mag-i-election, binura ho niya lahat ng kanyang mga posts. Itong na to, Merydale May Entrata FP, May Entrata FP. Ngayon ho mga kababayan, siyempre mag-i-eleksyon. Kailangan kumita nitong ungas na to. Tingnan nyo naman ang ginawa ho niya mga kababayan. Change name to field data trends. Para doon sa mga politiko, wag ho kayong magpaloko. Baka makipag-ugnayan kayo dyan sa dyan sa naglalabas ng survey na yan. Wala. Hindi ho credible yung mga, anong pinagbasihan mo dyan sa 53.8% na yan? Nagpunta ka ba talaga diyan sa diyan sa Makati para mag-survey para dito kay Nancy Binay? Nagpunta ka ba sa Davao City para magtanong-tanong doon o hula-hula mo lang yung mga figure na yan para mapakita mo yung relevance ng iyong page, ha? Ikaw Field Data Trends, hindi ko ito kilala at hindi naman ho natin tinitira to sa kung ano pa mang kadahilanan. Huwag lang ho kayong magpaloko dahil lang nakikita ho natin ilinalabas na nito, mga kandidato ng pagkasenador, yung mga merong pera, ha? Ayun na nga mga kababayan, rekta na ho tayo dito kay Manong Ted Pailon. Pasadaan ho natin na mabilisan to mga kababayan. Game.
It is abhorrent
Diba?
that you signed it. And you're saying it's suboptimal, but you still signed it. It is abhorrent.
Di ba?
It is abhorrent.
Di ba sinasabi niya na itong budget na ito, obviously are a suboptimal play of words, right? Opo. Kung suboptimal yan, kung tingin mo napakaraming pagkakamali sa budget na iyan,
Naku po.
sana hindi mo inaprobahan.
Ayun na nga ho ang sinasabi natin. Yun din ho kasi ang sentimiento ng ating mga kababayan dyan sa budget na yan. Alam mo ng palsipikado, alam mo ng may problema, pero pinagpilitan mo pa rin. Kasi nga naman, baka yung finil doon sa mga blanco, yun ang utos ng mga malalaking tao dyan sa Malacanang, di ba? Tuloy natin.
Nag-veto item ka, kakapranggot. So ngayon mga kapatid, yung iyong budget ngayon na sinasabi mo suboptimal, sino ba nag-approve din at the end of the day? Siya pa din, di ba?
Correct.
So sabihin naman niya, hindi yan ang kasi ang ginawa ng Kongreso. Bakit? Mamamatay ba ang bayan?
Naku.
Hihinto ba ang buhay natin kung ibabalik mo sa Kongreso yan at ayusin nila? Hindi kasi magkakaroon tayo ng reenacted budget ng isang buwan?
Ng isang buwan? Magkakaroon tayo ng reenacted budget ng isang buwan? Tapos sa 11 buwan, okay na, wala nang problema. Ayaw niyo ho ba yun? Hindi kagaya nito, sa loob ng isang taon, puro kabalbalan ang nandyan sa budget na yan. Paano nga naman ibabalik? Planchado na nalagay na nga nila yung... Baka masilip pa ng BICAM, di ba? Baka masilip pa ng ibang mga senador at congressman yung mga blankong mga parte dyan sa report ng BICAM na yan, biglang nagkaroon ng laman, baka doon na magkahindot-hindot. Kaya hindi ho talaga pinabalik ng Malacanang yung budget na yan dyan sa bicameral conference committee, no? Eto, lipat to tayo dito sa dito kay Senator Amy Marcos. Bago ho pala tong si Senator Amy, no? Gusto ko ho munang pasadaan ng mabilisan itong mga kasama natin dito sa PH Update. Nako, napakarami na naman ho. Baka matambakan na naman ho tayo. Mahirap na, no? Mag-mega love shoutout ho muna tayo, no? Mega love shoutout dito kay Teka lang ho, ayusin ko lang para dire-diretso yung mega love shoutout natin. Dito kay Lorna Mazarate. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Lorna. Thank you ho dyan sa 200 Hong Kong dollars. Mega love shoutout, Ma'am. Maraming salamat din ho dito kay Leo Vida De Villa. Maraming salamat ho. Mega love shoutout. Ingat ho kayo dyan sa Canada, no? Maraming salamat. Mega love shoutout dito kay Sir. Siyempre, ito pa naman si Sir. Sir Joel, medyo nabibisi lang, no? Kaya medyo late yung mega love shout natin. Sir Joel, ingat ho kayo dyan sa UAE. Mega love shoutout. Maraming salamat sa pagsuporta, Sir Joel. Itong si Sir Joel Arellano. Maraming salamat, Sir. Mega love shoutout din ho dito kay Marisa Albesa. Maraming salamat ho. Mega love shoutout. Maraming salamat ho sa pagsuporta sa PH Update. Palakpakan mo natin to si Mega love shoutout dito kay Tulongges. Sino tong si Tulongges? Maraming salamat sa pagsuporta sa PH Update. Ingat po kayo sa kanila. Mega love shoutout. Ayun na nga mga kababayan, maraming salamat to. Di ho natin pinapakita yan para ma-encourage kayong magbigay. Alam nyo ho mga kababayan, isang like at isang subscribe lang. Masaya na ho tayo dyan. At iboto nyo yung number 53 natin at number 56 sa balota. Pastor Apollo Kibuloy at itong si Atty. Vic Rodriguez. At syempre, sa mga Davao nyo, number 2 yung si dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte. Eto, kay Senator Amy Marcos ho tayo.
Hindi naniniwala si Gabriela Party List Representative Arlene Brosas sa paratang ni dating Pangulong Duterte na blank item sa 2025 budget. Si Senadora Amy Marcos naman, itanong na lang daw sa ibang senador ang kababalaghan sa pondo. Nasa frontline ng balitang yan si Mean Los Baños.
Hindi pumirma sa BICAM Committee Report ng 2025 National Budget si Senadora Amy Marcos. Kaya sa issue ng umano'y 13 blank items sa budget na pinalutang ni dating Pangulong Rodrigo Duterte, ito ang sagot niya.
Tanong na lang ninyo sa ibang senador kung anong kapabalagan kung meron niya. Ang akin, ang privilege speech na ako, tapos sinabi ko na yung nakita kong mga problema at matapos nun, hindi na ako pumirma.
Si Gabriela Party
Ito ho mga kababayan, itong si Arlene Brosas, wala naman hong credibility yan. Hindi naman natin sinasabing mayroong credibility itong si Senator Amy Marcos. Pero ang sinasabi ho natin dito, marami ho, maging itong si Senator Bato, Senator Christopher Bongo, hindi ho pinirmahan yan. O sinong mas papaniwalaan natin? Kasi sasabihin dito ni Arlene Brosas na kesyo hindi daw siya naniniwala na meron daw mga blanco dyan sa BICAM report na yan. Pakinggan ho natin to.
Representative Ardeen Brosas naman, hindi naniniwala na may mga blankong halaga sa budget. Gaya ng reaksyon ni Pangulong Bongbong Marcos, sinabi ni Brosas na hindi aabot sa ratifikasyon at pirmahan bilang batas ang pambansang pondo kung may blankong items.
I don't think so. Dapat pinag-uusapan yon. Dapat walang blanco, di ba? Kasi yun naman yung controversial yan ngayon. But anyway, we will look into it. Pag-aralan din namin sa makabayan kung ano yung mga ito na binabanggit.
Pagka yung issue, kakalabas lang pagka swak sa panlasa, swak sa naratibo nitong mga makakaliwa na to. Mabilis pa sa alas 4, meron ho silang ilalabas na statement. Pero dahil dito sa isa na to, dahil alam ho nila, maging itong mga sinasabi nitong si Arlene Brosas, siguro busy ho siya nung weekend. Hindi ho niya napanood yung naging panayam dito kay, naging interview, naging podcast nitong si Kong Ungab at nitong si Tatay Digong, kaya ganyan ho sinasabi nila. Tama naman, hindi naman pipirmahan ni Marcos Jr. yan kung kulang-kulang. Kung maraming blanco, hindi na naman kayo nakikinig itong mga mainstream media na to, mali-mali na naman ang inyong atake dito sa issue Ang sinasabi, doon sa BICAM, pinirmahan ng mga congressman at mga senador, kahit na maraming kulang-kulang sa budget. Yun ang problema natin. Yung pinirmahan ni Marcos Jr., kompleto na yun. Hindi natin kini-question yun. Hindi rin kini-question ni Tatay Digong yun at nitong si Kong Ungab at nitong si Atty. Vic Rodriguez. Wala ko silang kini-question doon. Diba? Ang sinasabi ho nila, bakit pinirmahan ng mga congressman at mga senador yung BICAM report, gayong ang daming kulang. Hindi yung pinirmahan ni Marcos Jr. Huwag ho kayong magpalito. Linilito ho nitong mga mainstream media na to at alam naman ho natin kung sinong may hawak ngayong mga panahon na to dyan sa mga mainstream media na yan. Siyang Bongo, boto nyo, number 28 sa balota. Siyempre naman, si Atty. JB. Naghahanap tayo ng bagong pagmumuka na alam natin na tapat. Si Senator JB at ditong si Senator Bato de la Rosa. Sure ball ho yan.
Nauna ng tinawag na fake news ng Malacanang ang paratang ni Duterte. Depensa ng kampo ng dating Pangulo, legal na opinion lang ito ni Duterte. Nagbabalita mula sa...
Yan ang sinasabi ho natin, di ba? Hindi depensa ni Tatay Digong, hindi legal na opinion ni Tatay Digong. Hindi nyo lininaw na ang kini-question nitong si Congressman Ungab at nitong si Tatay Digong yung BICAM report. Nakita nyo na, ulitin nun natin kung paano spin-spin, paikot-ikutin nitong mainstream media na to, ang issue na to. Hindi ho nila inaatake yung totoong kung anong dapat pinag-uusapan. Actually, itong si Marcos Jr., labas ho siya dito. Hindi naman talaga siya kasama sa usapan Kumbaga, nagbida-bida lang siya di ba? Kung ano-anong paratang ang ginawa niya dito kay Tatay Digong. Ang issue dito, bakit pinirmahan ng mga congressman at mga senador yung BICAM report, gayong napakaraming kulang-kulang. Ito ulitin nun natin para maintindihan ng mga kababayan natin. Pakinggan nyo na maigi kung paano i-spin yung baluktutin itong mga mainstream media ito ang balita ito para maging aware lang ho tayo at so kung sino man ang nagbalita dito at least maisaayos nila sa susunod. Pakinggan niyo ito mga kababayan.
Nauna ng tinawag na fake news ng Malacanang ang paratang ni Duterte. Depensa ng kampo ng dating Pangulo, legal na opinion lang ito ni Duterte.
Hindi. Yan na nga ba sinasabi natin? Anong depensa, legal na opinion? Hindi. Hindi sila parehas na tinutukoy. Dapat sinabi nyo, ang sinasabi ni Duterte, yung BICAM report. At ang tinutukoy naman ni Marcos Jr., yung GAA na pinirma niya. Dalawang magkaibang bagay ho yun. Kaya ayus-ayusin ho ninyo. Sinasabi, yung BICAM, maraming blanco, pinirmahan ng mga congressman at senador. Meron dokumento, pirmado. Ano sasabihin? Paano nyo sasabihin fake news yan? Diba? Napakalabo naman ho nun mga kababayan. At ito ho, comment react ho kayo dyan sa pagpapaikot-ikot na yan ng mga mainstream media sa sambayan ng Pilipino. Pero wag ho kayo magpalito kasi ngayong mga panahon na to yan ho ang talagang tinatarget nitong nitong mga bataan ni Tambaluslos yung lituhin ang ating mga kababayan doon sa mga ilinabas ni Tatay Digong at sa mga pahayag ng presidente. Number 56 na tong sa Atty. Vic, umatras din ay sumulong din siya ng isang numero, no? From 55, 56, from 52 tong si Pastor, 53 na ho siya ngayon. Heto, rekta ho tayo dito kay nakita na naman ho natin itong mga walang yan. Kailangan ho kasi natin pasadahan. Dito ho natin makikita na pagka nagkaisa ang ating mga kababayan, maging yung mga maaangas at hambog na congressman, titiklop. Dito sa video na itong mga kababayan, makikita nyo ho na itong si Paduano, natakot ho doon sa manifesto. Di ba? Noong nakalipas na taon, noong kinontempt ho nila ang si Sir Wilkins, naglabas ng manifesto ay yung mga dating chief PNP, mga mista niya, mga kaibigan niya sa PIDEA, kaibigan sa PNP, AFP, lahat to naglabas ng manifesto. Ngayon, itong matandang huhugin na to, tiklop ho siya sa manifesto. Unang entrada ho niya diyan sa hearing na yan, cambio ho siya paatras at ilinit ho yung contempt dito kay Sir Wilkins Villanueva. Pakinggan niyo ho ito mga kababayan.
Mr. Chairman. So with that, Mr. Chairman, since we have a quorum, and I already asked some members kanina, with that, Mr. Chairman, I respectfully move that to lift the motion that we have cited in contempt for Mr. Wilkins Villanueva. So move, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, there is a motion to lift the
Ang angas-angas mo, isang manifesto lang pala katapat mo. Di ba? Ganyan nung sila dyan. Isang manifesto lang, tiklupan sila. Ang papanuorin natin dito ay ang pagpapatuloy ng 14th public hearing of the House Quad Committee, January 21, 2015. Pakinggan natin kung anong magiging talakayan dito. Sigurado, meron na naman ng mga kabalbalan na ipapalabas itong Quadcom na to. Meron na namang mga gawa-gawang kwento ang ilalabas nitong mga resource person, nitong committee na to. Yung mga pinatuloy nila dyan, kagaya ni Mark Taguba, yung mga ikinulong nila dyan. Kasi pagka nakulong ka dyan, matututo ka kung paano kumanta. Ngayon, yung mga resource person nilang pinapaupo dyan, kinulong ho muna nila, tinuruan nila mag-vocalization. Ganon. Tinuruan ho nila. Ngayon, magagaling na lahat sila kumanta, lalo na yung si Mark Taguban. Ako, ibibenta ho niya kaluluwa niya, basta mas paabsuelto lamang ho yan sa mga kasong pinahaharap niya. Di ba? Ganyan ho yan mga kababayan. Pakinggan ho natin to, tuloy ho natin mga kababayan.
on General Wilkins Villanueva by this committee, duly seconded. Are there any objections? Amendments? Nothing. The motion is approved. Comsec, please.
Hindi ho sila dapat pasalamatan in the first place. Hindi naman dapat makontempt yan si Sir Wilkins salamat naman, nalit na yung contempt. Mga loko-loko! Una sa lahat, hindi nyo dapat kinontempt yan si Sir Wilkins Villanueva dahil isa ho siya sa mga naglingkod dyan sa PIDEA na talagang isinabuhay ho nila yung kanilang tungkulin. Ika nga talagang isinapuso nila. Di kagaya ngayon. Nagkalat ang illegal na droga. Mura pa daw yung illegal na droga ngayon kaysa sa kanin. Bumaba ang presyo yung illegal na droga. Nagmahal yung bigas.
Inform the Sergeant at Arms and our LSB that the contempt order has been lifted. So we will now proceed with the interpellation of the members to our resource persons. The first on the list, in this list, is Congresswoman Jinky Luistro. You are recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. With the permission of the Chair, Mark Taguba. During the previous hearings, you made mention about various parties which have participation generally in the shipment of goods, and if I may include, in some cases, in the evolution of this you call TARA system, which allows the shipment to avail of the green lane. Some of the parties which you mentioned includes the shipper, the consignee, the custom broker, and even a command center. Do you confirm this?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Chair, I wish to manifest that the alleged TARA system, which allows the shipment to be exempted from examination, both with respect to the documents and with respect to the physical examination, enable the proliferation not only of misdeclaration, but even of non-declaration. Mr. Chair, it is clear that with misdeclaration and non-declaration, the Philippine government is losing huge amount of revenue. And worse, Mr. Chair, during the interpellation, not only of Mr. Taguba, but even of Mr. Guban, the members ask, since when this TARA system and this green lane have been happening? I recall that they responded with, since time immemorial. I cannot help but imagine how much losses the government has incurred already because of this TARA system, which has been happening in the Bureau of Customs, as they say, since time immemorial. Mr. Chair, with that, this humble representation feels that the government's sovereign power is violated not only because of the losses it incurred, but even because of the laws which were violated. By analogy, Mr. Chair, this is synonymous to double jeopardy. Nalugi na ang gobyerno, winalang bahala pa ang batas ng Pilipinas.
Kumusta naman ngayong mga panahon na to? Kaliwat kanan yung pagnanakaw, di kayo nagsasalita. Anong double jeopardy, double jeopardy? Ay, ayusin mo, Luis, to ha. Buena mano mo to ngayon 2024. Gusto ko medyo maganda performance mo dyan.
This is very alarming, Mr. Chair. And this prompts this representation to go back to the basic, to the fundamental system of the Bureau of Customs. And with that, I wish to direct my next questions to the representatives of the BOC. Please walk us through. Pakikwento po sa sambayanang Pilipino how the shipment, how the importation works, considering the TARA system and the color-coded lane which has been shared to us by our resource persons. Mr. Chair, may I ask our former commissioner, Commissioner Faeldon,
Si Commissioner Paeldo naman ang titirahin nila dito.
Commissioner Faeldon, can we start with the import clearance certificate? What is this document and what agency issues the same?
Your Honor, I would like to to go to the broader answer to the questions that I will concur with Taguba and that there is Tara since immemorial. I think
Mr. Chair, with all due respect to Commissioner Faeldon, but this representation wished to examine the system which is happening in the Bureau of Customs step by step as to how the shipment process goes without necessarily connecting the same to the cases where Mr. Guban and Mr. Taguba were made involved with. So, ang tanong po dito, Commissioner Faeldon, is the system that we practice in general sa Bureau of Customs, and considering that for a certain period of time, kayo po'y umupo bilang head of the agency, I wish to believe that you have the knowledge about the basic system, the fundamentals which are supposed to be followed or perhaps being followed in the Bureau of Customs. Let's start with the import clearance certificate. Ano po ito, Commissioner? At ano pong ahensya ang nag-i-issue nito?
we have the Accreditation Management Office. It's popular known as the AMO. This is the office that accredits all importers. You cannot import anything if you have no accreditation, certification from that office. So during my time, we have 12,000 combined importers and brokers. And in 6 months, I delisted 4,000 of these because we have found out that they're lacking of the requirements. Some are found to be erring. So that's the first thing I did as far as trying to control these importers. So that is where the accreditation come from the Accreditation Management Officer. They're the ones who vet those applicants for accreditation so that they can do their importation. Your
Commissioner, can you please state again the name of the office which takes care of the import accreditation process?
Accreditation Management Office. Sila po yung nagpo-proseso, nagve-vet ng accreditation ng gusto maging importer. Accredited importers and brokers.
Will you confirm that if I have intention to import goods, the first step should be to apply an import accreditation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Without that accreditation, I cannot import goods into the country.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. You made mention about 12,000 accredited importers, which later on, you deleted the 4,000s because they are remiss with respect to certain requirements. Question po, Commissioner, ano po ba yung requirements natin for purposes of importers accreditation?
You have to specify in your application what specific goods you're going to import. You have to show certificate from the bank that you have deposited a specific amount that makes you capable of importing that goods. You have a verified office that can accommodate the transactions of your importation, business permits, and so the usual permits that the government issues when you establish a business, Your Honor.
For me to be able to inform this office, Commissioner Faeldon, mayroon po ba kayong pinoprovide na form where I should fill in the goods I intend to import?
Yes, Your Honor, we have the packing list that you're supposed to submit to the customs list of those goods that you're supposed to bringing into the country.
Commissioner, we're still on the process of importers accreditation.
Yes, Your Honor. There's different codes of every commodities.
But this is not yet packing list, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
This is international codes. All countries have the same codes of of different goods. So we
Balikan po natin, Commissioner, yung goods. Ano pong form yung ginagamit sa BOC in describing the goods for the purpose of applying for importers accreditation?
I cannot remember the codes. There are thousands of codes, sir, representing specific goods, sir. But
But the form is provided by the BOC.
yes, ma'am, it's
And-
also in the website. It's publicly accessible in the website of BOCs. And
Is
you
it,
can-
is it correct to say that in the form, there are codes that you mentioned? The
Yes, ma'am.
applicant is supposed to select which code corresponds to the goods
You
he
intend to
intended to
import.
import.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. With respect to bank documents, Commissioner Faeldon, what specific document do you require?
During my time, it is the certificate of deposit, because there are certain goods that require a specific percentage of amount that you have in the bank so that you can import that specific commodity. So these are the small nitty-gritties that the Accreditation Management Office has to verify before they will approve their accreditation, Your Honor.
Sir, would it be correct to say that the amount required per certificate of deposit depends on the goods to be imported?
Yes, Your Honor, if you intend to import just few items of commodities, you are not going to be required to deposit large amount of money. So it's going to be the specific percentage vis-a-vis the intended commodity to be imported. I am no longer particularly clear about it, Your Honor, but it can be verified, Your Honor.
How about with respect to the office? What particular document do you require?
There's a list of the requirements issued by the Accreditation Management Office. These are publicly accessible in the website. So you have to go to Customs and present all these documents. These are the prerequisite requirements, and you'll be interviewed. And I assume the office has to be verified, and all the other documents that is listed, that is submitted by the applicant, Your Honor.
You mentioned that you verify the office address of the applicant. Is that correct?
That's supposed to be some of the requirements, because some of the 4,000 we delisted, when we verified those addresses, it's actually non-existing addresses. That's why we delisted them. So there are so many importers and brokers who do that. So when we try to vet the airing and the fly-by-nights, we found out that 4,000 at least were airing. That's why we delisted them. That's during my time, Your Honor.
In other words, Commissioner Faeldon, by practice, you did the verification of the office address. Reason why you were able to discover this 4,000, which accreditation you deleted already.
We tried our best to clean the list, Your Honor.
You also mentioned about business permit, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
So it discloses the company name and even the company owner. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
And would you agree with me if I would say, with the bank certificate, with the office verification, and with the business permit, the BOC has ample information about all the importers into the country?
That's the assumption, Your Honor.
What do you mean by assumption?
If all those documents are truthful, that's why they have to personally verify.
But we're talking about here with respect to the actual practice and system and not with respect to assumption, Commissioner Faeldon. So I suppose that all the information that you're giving before this committee were practiced at least during your time as Commissioner of BOC. Tama po ba?
Ma'am.
In other words, during your time, Commissioner Faeldon, all importers' information are within the safekeeping of the BOC, considering the ample requirements that you are requiring initially for purposes only of importers accreditation?
The newly accredited importers during my time, I specifically instructed the chief of the accreditation management office to be very stringent, not stringent, but to be very careful about accrediting, because at that time we were delisting more than 4,000. So we do not want to replace them with another herring importers and brokers, Your Honor.
In all fairness to you, Commissioner Faeldon, because you were the one who deleted this 4,000 because they are not compliant with your requirements and your rules, it is the humble submission of this representation that having applied that system, then you have all the necessary information about the importers accredited by the BOC. That is a manifestation. With respect to the documents which you are requiring from the applicants for importation or importers accreditation, question Commissioner Faeldon. Alam nyo ang pangalan ng importer? Of course.
Hindi po. It's the company that's listed, not all the time the owner, ma'am. So we cannot really say that we know the owners of the importers, but the
So
names.
it depends. If the importer is an individual,
Yes, ma'am.
you will know the identity of the person.
The AMO office may know, Your Honor.
Okay. But if the importer is a company, then at least you have the name of the corporation. Tama po ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
And for you to know the owners of this corporation, I wish to believe that you required also the articles of incorporation and the GIS of this corporation who applied for importers accreditation. Tama po ba yon?
Yes, Your Honor, the usual business requirement.
That's actually what we do kapag ka ang applicant ay corporation. Normally, even for purposes of business permit, ang kasunod po nating hinihingi is articles of incorporation along with the general information sheet. Do you agree with that, Commissioner Faeldon?
Yes, Your Honor.
O balikan ko po yung first question ko. You have the means to know kung sinong importer, whether he's an individual or a corporation, considering the documents that you are requiring during the importer's accreditation process.
Verifying the documents in the office, I think the customs has the means to do
Yes.
that.
Yes.
But going actually to check on the offices, that is where the customs lack the capability to personally verify some 12,000 offices nationwide.
But at least you were able to delete 4,000 up to out of the 12,000 accredited importers, because you said earlier, because of verification process, you found out that this 4,000 are not compliant with the requirements. Some do not have the necessary office address. Tama po ba yun, Commissioner?
Yes, ma'am. And some of those who were delisted were frequent violators of import laws. So I check in the database who are the importers and brokers who have violated some importation laws in the past, and I immediately included them on the list to be delisted in our accreditation, Your Honor. So that's another parameter why we delisted them, Your Honor.
Either kulang ang requirements or nagkaroon ng previous violation.
Yes, Your Honor. And of the 4,000, not one of them went to court and contest their delisting of their company in the
No one
accredited.
attempted to question why they were
I cannot
deleted.
I cannot remember even one of them who went to court and question their delisting from the accredited, Your
Sir,
Honor.
balikan ko po yung documents na nire-require nyo during importers accreditation process. With those documents, you can determine also the address of the importer, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
With those documents, you can determine also the contact details of the importer, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And with those documents also, you can determine also what type of business does the importer conduct.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you can also determine the affiliations of this importer.
Ayun na nga mga kababayan, wala akong improvement itong si Jinky Luistro kung ano yung anyo niya nung mga nagdaang panahon diyan sa hearing ng TWADCOM. Ganun pa rin ho yung nagtatanong ng mga simpleng tanong tapos sasagutin siya ng yes your honor. Yung dating parang talaga na nakukuha niya kung sa napapapunta niya yung pagtatanong niya sa naratibong gusto niyang mangyari. Pero sa katotohanan lang ng mga kababayan, hindi lalabas ho kasi talaga na pamumulitika yung ginagawa nila na yan. Ano ba hubang pakay nila? Bakit tinitira nila ngayon itong si ano pangalan ito? Itong si Sir Nick, no? Itong si Sir Nick Paeldon. Kasi para may pakita na talagang konektado o involved yung mga tauhan ni Duterte sa mga nangyayaring anomalya diyan sa Bucor, anak ng toko. Masyado naman hong obvious. Ngayong nung panahon ni Tatay Digong doon nabawasan ng korupsyon diyan sa Bucor. Ngayon nagbalikan na naman pero hindi ho nila iniimbestigahan yung mga kalokohan ngayon. Kasi malamang siguro no, baka di ho natin alam, di ba? So Luis, maraming salamat po sa pag-support sa PH Update. Mag-ingat po kayo lahat. Mahal natin Pilipinas.